Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelly Head. I am the Business Information Librarian at Mid-Continent Public Library. I work with the Square One Small Business Services team, and we do a number of programs throughout the year as well as one-on-ones with folks. So we've been shifting our programming online during this time of quarantine, and I've done some database demos on Fridays at noon for the past few weeks. I took off last week, but I am back now. We'll probably do these less frequently than we've been doing them because this is kind of the new normal for us. Today, we're going to be looking at ways to stay current with the Kansas City business scene, primarily looking at two databases. The first is going to be the Kansas City Business Journal, and then we'll take a look at the Kansas City Star. So right now I'm starting off on the Mid-Continent homepage, which is mymcpl.org. If you don't have a library card, the first step will be to get a library card with us. So click on this Get a Library Card button, and then it'll have you verify your email address. Once you've done that, you can jot down the number they give you and sign into the databases right away, and then they will mail you a physical card about a week or two later. To get to all of the business databases, you're going to go to menu, or sometimes when you have this screen a little bit bigger, it will be in a bar at the top of the page. Click Square One Small Business, and that'll take you to our page. And then you'll scroll about 3/4 of the way down the page, and on the right, there's a Browse Resources button. Go ahead and click that, and that will take you to our full list of business databases. If you'd like to see all of the databases the library has, you can click A to Z list up here, or you can browse by subject by clicking the Browse Subjects button. So mentioned that we're going to take a look first at the Kansas City Business Journal. So these databases are organized alphabetically. Just click on the black underlined text, and then it will ask you for your library card number, which I've already entered mine, so it's not going to require it right now. It takes you to some of the current articles, so you can kind of browse through here and see what they've been writing about. You can also go look at previous issues. If you go to past digital editions, you can look at the full publications here in online format or PDF. They also have the Book of Lists, which is one of my favorite things that the Kansas City Business Journal does. So if you haven't taken a look at this before, I really encourage you to do that. The Book of Lists is a cool thing that they put out once a year that goes through some of the things that Kansas City businesses do really well. So I'll kind of make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. So they list things like who the top businesses are in different industries. Sometimes it will be minority-focused businesses like veteran-owned businesses or women-owned businesses. And it's just kind of a nice way of keeping up with who are the major players in terms of the Kansas City business scene. I oftentimes will just kind of browse through here and look to see what kind of interesting stuff they have. So I'll give you a sense. It's a lot of these lists, since it is the Book of Lists, that makes sense. So this is showing the family-owned businesses ranked by 2018 revenue. So you can kind of see what these lists look like. They're typically in this kind of a format where you see like 20 or so businesses organized based on sometimes their revenue. I've also seen things like the amount of vacation time offered. So they're not always ranking them by revenue. Sometimes they're ranking them by other criteria. So this is a great way to use the Kansas City Business Journal database. You also have the ability to search based on your industry or kind of browse based on your industry. So let's say you're a restaurant and you want to see kind of what they've been publishing on the food and lifestyle scene. You can click on that and kind of see based on what kind of business you are, some of the things that are currently trending in your industry. You also have the ability to just do a regular search. So I'll go back to the home page to show you that. The thing to keep in mind though, anytime you're doing a search, let's go back actually to the weekly. And sorry, I'm trying to get back to the home page where it has the search box. Well, rather than futz around, I'm going to just go back into it. So when you want to search in this database, you can do a search for a keyword. So let's say food trucks. And then interesting thing about this database is it is a network of cities that have this business journal publication. So it's going to show you results from lots of different cities. So it's showing you Buffalo, showing you Philadelphia. If you just want to see Kansas City, you need to go into location over here under the cities drop down and then choose Kansas City, and that will filter out the results to just be Kansas City. You can also use these other filters like the date range or a specific company or certain people or industries. So this one has a little bit different search interface from some of the other library databases, but it's definitely a simple, easy to use tool. So that's a good way of keeping up with the Kansas City business scene through the business journal. You may also want to keep up with the Kansas City business scene through the Kansas City Star. And there are a couple different ways you can do that. We'll look first at the image reproduction, the digital reproduction of the daily paper. So if you go to this image database format, that will take you to the full color reproduction of the Kansas City Star. And let's say you want to read today's newspaper, you can click on that date under recent issues. And then you can see a full page reproduction of today's newspaper. So the business section, if you don't know where it is, it's listed on the front page. It's A8. I don't know if you can see that. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So you can see each section here. And then if you want to jump down to a particular section, you just use that drop-down menu. So now we could read the business section and also see the images, which a lot of people like to be able to see. You have all kinds of tools to save and clip articles here or email them to yourself. So this is a fantastic tool and a really nice way of keeping up with what's going on in the Kansas City business scene. Also available on a tablet, which I highly recommend. You could read it on your phone, but it may be a little bit small. But yeah, this is a great way of keeping up with business in Kansas City. We also have another database through the Kansas City Star that's a text-based format. So if you go back to that database and notice on the list here, one of them will say 1991 to current and be in text format. That's the one we want to use for doing more research for past articles, or if we want to set up an alert for future articles. So when you're in this database, you can obviously look at the current issue articles by clicking on the date here, or you can do a search in the search box. Anytime you search for a phrase like food trucks, put that in quotations and it'll make your search results a lot better. When you don't use quotations, it will pull up any article that has the word food and the word trucks and not necessarily next to each other. So you're going to get a lot of noise, a lot of articles that are irrelevant. So what you want to do is put your phrase in quotations, and that will make sure those words show up in that order next to each other. And it can be as many words as you want. It can be an entire sentence. It can be 3 words, 2 words, whatever. And then hit search. And in a second, we'll see that it pulls up articles that have food trucks in that order. We can do things like sort based on the time frame. We can also come up here and create an alert. So if you're wanting to stay up with a particular topic, I highly encourage you to create an alert. When you click create an alert, it'll have you enter your email address and then select how often you want them to send you new articles. I would maybe default to once a day because 4 times a day, unless you're really trying to stay on top of things, is probably going to overwhelm your inbox. So either do once a day or once a week. Once a week, I've found, is kind of hard to get through all of the articles. If you're choosing a phrase or a word that is fairly common. Food trucks may not be all that common, so once a day or once a week is probably fine. But if you did something like restaurants or a word that shows up all the time, once a week would probably be overwhelming to have to go through all of those articles. But you can decide what is best for you and then create that alert. And then anytime new articles are added to this database that have that phrase, they will email you, and you'll be able to see what the headline is for that article, and then you can click right on it in your email and it'll take you directly to this database. So some easy ways to kind of keep up with what's going on in the Kansas City business scene. You've got the Kansas City Star and the Kansas City Business Journal. There's obviously a lot of other great resources out there. If you haven't heard about Casey's Source Link, I would highly encourage you to go there. They offer a number of resources to entrepreneurs and small business owners, and you can browse based on what kind of help you're looking for. They also have a great Casey funding guide that I would encourage you to check out. But this is a free resource that kind of aggregates all of the resources in Kansas City. Some are paid services, some are free. But in my experience, they're all really good quality resources to help businesses grow. So you can sign up for their newsletter as well. That's a great way to stay in contact and up to date on what's going on in the Kansas City business scene. But that is my quick introduction to staying current with Kansas City business. If you would like me to cover any particular topics in the future, please let us know. You can post in the comment section on Facebook or reach out to us directly through Messenger. If you'd like to schedule a one-on-one with me or anyone on my team, feel free to reach out through Facebook Messenger or email us at square1 spelled out at mymcpl.org. Also, if you found this video useful, please fill out the survey in the comment section. And that's also a good place to let us know if you'd like me to cover any particular topics. That's it for today. I'll be signing off now. Hope you have a great weekend and stay safe out there.